Hello, welcome to Flawed TMI. This is part two of Andrea, You Did This to Me birthday. This is part two. The subject is F for fathers. So I went over the brief summation of my father. Now let's go over the sins of who I chose to lay down and procreate with. Now, it's kind of hard to call it a sin that I procreate with because I was left with five of the most beautiful individuals on this planet, so I can't be that upset. So, don't laugh at me for picking a tennis court. Well, actually, it's not a tennis court, it's partial tennis court, but at any rate, the little pun there was let's play ball. Haha, ball, children. Anyway, so with that all being said and done, here we go. I have some of the most beautiful children on the planet, but I didn't do right by them, by the people that I chose to, let's just say, engage in activity. Now, engaging in activity, I will sit back and throw out there that for my two sons, that's my second marriage, I knew at that time when at 19, I was diagnosed with cancer. I wanted to have children. And he was a friend. And I had conversation with him in regards to that I didn't want to have children out of wedlock. Wasn't the greatest love story ever told or anything, but he was a good person. With that being said, fast forward, pregnancy, marriage. Yes, it didn't quite happen that way, but that's how it goes because we were planning a marriage and then some things and situations occurred, pregnancy, but I was married before my son was born. Anyway, we got married and had a real faulty type situation there because it wasn't like a kumbaya family. He didn't have a kumbaya family. I didn't have a kumbaya family. So we really didn't have anything to build up off of. We were just two hardworking individuals who, that's what we did. We worked and we're taking care of our first son and then our second son. Then I wasn't in remission, but cancer was manageable. And I had a conversation with him because he had a family member that used to come over and made me feel uncomfortable in my home because his family member used to come over and would touch on me, grope me, and I would tell him. And as I would tell him, this is what's going on, he just, oh, that's such and such, and he's just being funny, playing around with you. Not funny, not funny. You're my husband. You're supposed to be my protector, my provider, my support, and you chose not to in that moment. So you fast forward, as you can see where this is going, Splitsville, there you are. So when I met, you fast forward, he was somewhat consistent in the lives, but I'll cut off on his story because I have to pick up with that, where he leaves off to get to child number 5. So now you go to the next child, number 3. Her father was a really good friend of mine. He was like my twin flame, my buddy, my ride or diter. We were cool. We were not a relationship type per se, but he was just my best friend. And I just really enjoyed the company. But you and I both know, he was good when it came to my sons. He helped with them, whatever, because he was my friend. But the moment that life happens, what do you expect? If you're engaging in sexual activity and you already have a child, I'm engaged in sexual activity, I have children, somebody's going to get pregnant. Who y'all think got pregnant? You got it. I got pregnant. So when I got pregnant, he got ghost. Now, when I said ghost, he wasn't, it was a back and forth type of ghost. So once again, from the previous one, I end up procreating with my father figure. So I don't want to speak negatively of him because he is still a friend, but it just sucks that's how now my child has to sit back and look at life because there is no relationship, there's no love lost. It sucks. It really sucks. but I cannot fault her on it because she's right. She's so very right on that. And I have blinders when it comes to this individual because I'm still stuck in my head and past of this individual, because I'm not saying that he could do no wrong. I'm just saying he's a good friend and I pray for him to do better. That's enough said on that. Then the next one, same type of situation. He was a cool person, and I should have known better. He was a rocker. I was heavily into rock at the time. I still am a rocker. I'm a headbanger. What can I say? When we had gotten together, gotten pregnant, we moved in together. We were cool, and I blow up. I don't know what it is. When I get pregnant, I balloon up. So his mother seen me, and to her, she said, well, I don't think the dates match up. Now, we were cool well along into the pregnancy at this time. So she sat back and said that we had our words, because I'm looking at it like, how are you questioning me when you met girl, no stomach, you got with girl, a stomach? Sit back and figure this out. You do the math of this. So you fast forward, I leave, I give birth, he dies. That's how that situation had gone. So that's a sad story to me, because now my son never ever had the opportunity to look at this person to see where he comes from. Now, the grandfather is still active in his life, and he is a loving, kind, generous man. So that right there, I'm not going to say that takes up for the father, but that gives me hope that there are some fathers that are out there that do well by their children. Please forgive my sniffles, allergies. I love nature. Nature doesn't love me. Then you fast forward to husband number 3. Whew, too much to be said about that to be placed into this blog. But he came onto the scene. And when he came onto the scene, he was like, you know something? Let's get married and I'll take on the responsibility of all children. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we go back to husband number 2. And as we were speaking with him, we were sitting back saying, you know something, how can we blend this family so we all can get along? For whatever his reasoning may have been, he sat back and said, oh, you have a man, you let him be the father. What? Seriously? That's where you're going with this? Some words were said, things, blah, blah, blah. That's the story. I don't have to embellish. I don't have to go any deeper into it. But he chose to walk out of his children's lives. So when I got married, the story was to any and everyone who had met us, this is his family. We known each other from high school. We were high school sweethearts, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. That was the story that we told everyone. Little did I know that this individual was, I'm flawed. Trust me, I gravitate to the flawed. He had all kinds of issues. He's currently incarcerated, so I don't have to go into his issues. His address alone should tell you enough. I love these airplanes. So anyway, after that, this goes to show, I don't want to say that I don't have faith in fathers, because I have so many good friends that have some of the most awesome men in their lives. I even have friends who are fathers, who are great fathers out there. So please, 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 I don't want anyone to sit back and feel that I am bashing anyone, because there are a lot of good fathers that are out there. So with that being said and done, this was, like I said, just a little taste of fathers, F for fathers. And for the ones who are currently in their children's lives, I applaud you. I love you. The women that are there with you, who are your ride or die, if they have a bad day, it's okay, because you chose them and they chose you, and you guys are living the truest of life forms. So with that being said, God bless you guys all. I want to let you guys know once again, and I'm going to keep on saying it over and over again, because I need to hear it. This is, every time I leave one of these vlogs, I feel lighter. I feel lighter. So I want you guys to get a good look because I want to see myself whittled down before your very eyes. I want to get lighter with my head, light head. I want to get lighter with my physique. I just want to be a light individual. I'm not saying someone who has a defense mechanism up. I want to be the best me that I can be. So, once again, invest in me, I'll invest in you, and we are going to build and uplift each other through and through, through and through. Like I said, please, 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 and please forgive me because I just heard myself say, like I said several times, that's an old folks habit. Please forgive me. Subscribe, like, notifications.